So Scott, that's it then. The season's over. It finishes 1-0 to the Rebels. A penalty from Slavy Spars off in the end to win it. What were your overall thoughts on the game?
I thought it was two contrasting styles. I thought it was a pretty decent game. I thought we got into some really good areas by making good decisions, whereas Hampton got into some good areas by playing football. They get it down, they play really well. They got some really exciting young players, but I thought in terms of when we got in behind them, we caused them real problems. So yeah, it was great to get the win, finish on a high. Slavy getting a goal, and overall, did we probably deserve it? I think just about. But no, it was a great occasion. Nearly 1,600 people in here, and we wanted to finish on a positive. So I think winning today, we can go away really pleased. I think we've climbed up another place in the table. So no, overall, I think there's so many positives.
Yeah, you speak about how you feel we probably deserved to win the game in the end. There was plenty of chances for someone like David Ogbono, who had a few chances in the game. Did you feel like if he added that second and third, it would just sort of ease things out? Yeah,
it's one of those games where people would say it's a dead rubber, and if we really needed that second goal to survive or to get into the playoffs, then it would have been really important. But you don't get too irate or too emotional when players are missing opportunities, I guess, in a game that hasn't got much meaning to it. But yeah, David got in, I think, 3 times. Owen had a great chance as well at the end. Josh had one cleared off the line, I think, which would have been a fairy tale ending. So no, overall, I think we maybe could have scored another 1 or 2. But Hampton also got into some good areas as well. So full credit to them. I thought it was played in really good spirits until the last minute, which has obviously left a real sour taste in my mouth. So yeah.
And yeah, we'll quickly speak on that now. You were shown a red card by the referee right at the beginning of injury time. Can you just sort of clarify what the situation was and what happened there?
Yeah, I think it's so important that I do this interview because it's the end of the season. People will say the games mean nothing, but their number 25 had just made a tackle that I thought was extremely reckless, and then he made another one after that. So I shouted something onto the pitch. The linesman thought I was talking to the referee. Little does she know that my mum is stood to the side of the dugout with my wife and my 3-month-old daughter, and I wouldn't talk to a female referee like that in a million years, and I wouldn't talk to a female like that. It's not the way that I've been brought up. For me, it's just absolute confusion. I've explained to the referee that I wasn't talking to her, I was talking to their player, and I'm absolutely gutted because at the end of the game I couldn't go and celebrate with the boys. Last game of the season, we've worked for 9 months tirelessly, and I'm sat inside by myself for a long period of time. So hopefully it will get overturned. I would never speak to a female ref like that. And yeah, I'm gutted, to be honest, but I think people that know me, the ref doesn't, would know that I haven't got a foul mouth like that. And my mum, like I said, was stood to the side of the dugout and she would have been livid herself. She actually came up to me after the game and said, "What's happened?" And I explained to her, and my mum just said to me, she said, "You would have been in the doghouse if you were speaking to a lady like that." So it sums it up, but it's complete confusion. Last minute of the game, no need to make a decision when you're not sure. Yeah, I'm gutted, I'll be honest with you, and if it doesn't get overturned, that's probably one of the most confusing decisions that I've ever been involved in my career, which has spanned 20 years. So we had a good chat though, Con. I think me and the ref had a really good conversation, and hopefully she sees through it. And you can see by the way the 25 was going round that I was only talking to him. I called him a cheat, but there was nothing that the ref had done to cheat, so I was calling him a cheat for leaving late tackles on. It's not like the ref's given a penalty and I'm calling her a cheat. There's no reason for it. So yeah, hopefully it gets overturned. Otherwise it's going to be a long pre-season for an old man.
We'll swiftly move on then to some more positive notes. Another successive start for Brian Nelson, and also we saw, like you already mentioned, Owen Rennie made another appearance, and also Aaron Wright off the bench. What is the future ahead for some of those lads now? I know we're talking about the future already, but is there a likelihood that we're going to see some of those faces again going into next season?
I hope so. I really do hope so. I think that we've got an extra 2 players on the bench next season, so we're going to have to fill those spots. They're probably not going to be first-team players because we don't have the sort of capabilities to go and have 18 first-team players. So I think it's a good opportunity to have some younger ones on. I think they've held their own. I think they've done really well. Really disappointed that Brian had to come off. He had a bit of an injury. And then Owen come on, nearly scored. Jack got in behind and I was thinking, go and finish it off. And then Aaron come on and did really well as well. So there's been some real positives for the last few games. It's obviously nice to finish with 2 wins off the back of what's been a pretty decent April in many respects, obviously beating Aveley as well. So no, overall I think we can be really happy. In terms of looking forward for the squad, we don't know where we're at. There's a lot of conversations to be had. I walk around the side of the pitch at the end of the game and everyone's saying enjoy your break, but sadly you don't get a break as a manager. But I love it. I'm obsessed with the job that I do. I do really enjoy doing it, and I think that's the most important thing to say. So it never feels like a chore to me. It is going to be challenging this summer, but that's, guess what I get paid for, and I've got to make good decisions. And I think it all comes down to recruitment for next season. If we get it right, we'll be okay. But yeah, listen, there's a lot of hard work ahead.
And obviously, normally I would, at this point at the end of our interviews, turn to what's next in terms of the next match that's up. But thinking about what I wanted to ask you at the end of this interview, at the end of the season, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. 3 words to sort of assess the entire season as a whole, if you had to reflect back on it right now.
3 words.
3 words.
Challenging, I think, purely for the reason that we started so well and the expectation probably rose. And that was difficult to maybe manage because we knew that we were going to be chased at some point, and it's really difficult being at the top and trying to stay there as Slough Town Football Club. That's the that's the sort of way that I guess the league is. We weren't setting out to go and be promoted as champions, so I think challenging. I think quite promising in so many ways that we've had some extremely good performances over the course of the season from some young players that have come in and done extremely well. And I think we've got a few players yet again that are catching the eye. Obviously Leon, David, Slavy, they're the probably 3 young ones. Then you've got to look at John Gilbert's addition. I think he's been brilliant. Charlie's been excellent in goal. I could go through the whole team. I think there's been so many positives from an individual perspective and collectively. I think Edon's been an absolute rock since he's come in. And the last one, I'd just say tiring, because from a personal point of view, it's a long season when you're working full-time, all the players, the staff, and then you've got to add 46 games to that. And I see a lot of people talk about they're not full-time, they're hybrid, talking about some of these clubs, but a lot of these clubs that are hybrid, they're not going to work for 50 hours a week. They're earning enough from doing 3 days. So I think the commitment levels that are shown at this level from the players is absolutely astonishing, to be honest. And I think the supporters goes with that as well, because the travelling that they obviously make, or the travelling that they do, and the money that they spend. So they're the 3 words that I think would sum it up. But I think a little break now, recharge the batteries, and hopefully go again next season. But I think it'd be important to mention the supporters this season who have stuck with us when we weren't doing so well in and around Christmas time. It was tough, but listen, we've got through it. I think we've ended up finishing 16th, is it? Which is listen, it's not a disgrace at all. We're quite comfortably above the dotted line, and we're better for it, I think, in terms of the people that have joined the club this summer, last summer, and been with us for a year. So thank you to all the supporters and everyone else involved at the football club, and we go again in a couple of months.
Thank you again for your time, Scott, this afternoon, and as always for the entire season. You've definitely earned that rest, and we look forward to seeing you again here at Arbor Park.
No, cheers, Con. Thanks ever so much. And as to you as well, I was going to say the volunteers, the people that turn up on a weekly basis is so important. Like I just said at the end of the season, awards, the heartbeat of the club is the supporters and the volunteers. And Josh said something about us being custodians of the club, and that's the truth. So no, it's always a privilege to be here, whether as a player and as manager. So listen, thank you to you guys as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Scott.